Most people think parents become quieter with age, but that is not actually what is happening. In many cases, your parents are not talking less because they have nothing to say. They are talking less because they slowly started feeling like nobody truly listens anymore. And once you realize what silence feels like from their side, the way you see your parents may never feel the same again. One parents notice the moment their voice stops carrying the same weight. When you were younger, your parents were the center of your world. Their opinions shaped your choices. Their approval mattered. Their warnings felt important. But slowly that changes. You grow older. You become independent. You make your own decisions. And without realizing it, your reactions toward them begin changing too. The conversations become shorter. The replies become distracted. The eye contact disappears faster than before. And parents notice this immediately, even when they pretend not to. Aging parents become extremely sensitive to emotional distance, because as people age, emotional security becomes more important than social excitement. Small changes suddenly feel very large to them. A delayed reply, a distracted conversation, a tired tone. To you, these moments feel normal. To them, they quietly feel like loss, and over time, something painful begins happening. They start speaking less because speaking no longer feels emotionally safe. 2. Most parents never directly say they feel lonely. This is something many adult children completely misunderstand. Older generations were not raised to openly discuss emotions. They were taught to endure silently, to avoid becoming emotional burdens, to keep pain private. So instead of saying, "I feel alone," your parents say, "You must be busy." Instead of saying, "I miss talking to you," they say, "I was just checking in." Instead of saying, "I need you emotionally," they say, "Call me whenever you have time." The words sound casual, but emotionally, they are carrying much more weight than most people realize. Researchers studying emotional aging discovered that older adults often replace emotional vulnerability with indirect communication because they fear rejection, embarrassment, or feeling unwanted. So many parents slowly stop expressing their deeper feelings altogether, not because the feelings disappeared, because hiding them started feeling safer. 3. Silence is sometimes protection. Here is the part most people never think about. Some parents become quiet because they are trying to protect their children from guilt. They notice your stress, your exhaustion, your responsibilities, and they begin emotionally editing themselves around you. They stop mentioning health problems. They stop talking about loneliness. They stop sharing fears, not because those feelings disappeared, because they no longer want to feel like a burden. And this creates a heartbreaking cycle. The parent feels lonely, but stays quiet to avoid becoming a problem. The child assumes everything is fine because the parent never says anything, and slowly, emotional distance grows on both sides without either person fully realizing it. 4. The saddest part usually happens very slowly. Most people never notice the exact moment their parents stop talking the same way they used to. It happens quietly. The long stories disappear first. Then the random phone calls become shorter. Then the advice stops coming. Then one day the house feels strangely silent without you understanding why. Because parents eventually learn how much space they are allowed to take inside their children's lives. And once they feel that space shrinking, they slowly shrink themselves too. Not out of anger, out of love. 5. One day you realize the silence was never emptiness, it was restraint. And by the time many people finally understand this truth, the relationship has already changed forever. Because the painful reality is this: parents rarely stop loving their children. They simply become quieter after feeling emotionally unnecessary for too long. So, The next time your parent repeats a story, calls you for no reason, or tries to start a small conversation, do not rush through it, because one day those small conversations disappear completely, and the silence they leave behind feels much heavier than anyone expects.